If you know me, you know I love to find ways to make life easier. So today I thought I'd share 10 little ways to save you time, save you energy, and improve your life. Some of them are more like psychological tools or strategies, and others are specific objects that have helped me out. But I want you to know this video isn't sponsored by any company officially today. These are just things that I've kind of organically found that have helped me. And I gotta say, a lot of these might just save you 1 to 5 minutes of your life, but if you do a bunch of them, or they add up over time, they could create real space in your life. And there are a variety of them, so I'd encourage you to stick around and watch through the end in case one of the last few really could make a difference for you. A first tip is to pair activities that you forget to do with things you always remember to do. Let's face it, habit change is hard, but we actually often already have automatized or regularized habits throughout our day. We often have a scaffolding or a structure for our day that we can actually hang other habits onto. Examples of this could be like pairing watering your plants with feeding your dog because you know you'll remember to do that, or using the time when you brush your teeth in the morning to remind yourself, did I take my medication? Another kind of weird one that I've done lately is to just always do 10 squats before I get in the shower, and somehow that just kind of boosts my body, reminds me to create some movement in my day, and at least 10 squats is better than none. A second idea is to use a portable tire pumper, and I didn't know these existed until relatively recently, but this is a breakthrough for me because I live in Minnesota where in the winter it can get really icy and I often have to switch to snow tires, or also the changes in temperatures I think almost increases the likelihood that my tires will change in size or need more regular pumping. And so I feel like I'm constantly in this battle with my tires where I constantly have to pull over, stop at some kind of gas station, pump up the tires, and then go on my way. And recently I saw these little portable tire pumpers that you can even keep in your car. And it just makes life so much easier anytime, anywhere. I can pump up those tires and potentially increase the longevity of those tires so I don't have to buy new ones. A third tip is to either mentally or literally track how much you use your belongings. It'll help clarify what you actually need in your life, inform your future shopping, and also help you declutter. For a while, I tracked my clothing, like what I actually wore, and to be honest, I was really surprised by the outcome. I found that quite often my lounge clothes or my comfiest clothes were the ones I wore the most, and I honestly didn't fully believe that before I did it, and I also recognized which of my lounge clothes were the ones that I always reached for, and so that just informed what I could really part with in my closet and keep. I actually have a really old video on this topic, so I'll link it above and below in case you're interested. But you can also track things beyond just your closet. Say if you have a toolbox, maybe you take all of the tools in the toolbox, put them next to the toolbox, and then as you use each one over a few months, you see what gets back into the toolbox, and then you can declutter the rest. Or even with clothes, like you could put the clothes on a different shelf or in a different drawer and see which items you actually use over the course of a month. Relatedly, I think the best way to organize is by frequency of use and by location of use, as opposed to some other system. Now, obviously, maybe you want to generally categorize things, but it makes sense that, for example, if you use a particular pen a lot, you want to keep that easily accessible at your desk. But maybe you don't need to keep a million options of pens right there on the surface of the desk. Or sometimes with those belongings that I use way more often, or those lounge clothes that are so comfortable, I want to keep those at the front of my closet or at the front of my drawer so I can just grab them and go to save myself a little bit of time in the morning. A fifth strategy I've been using is to always use an eye cover and a sound machine at night. I'll link the particular eye cover and sound machine that I like, but I have just seen such an improvement in the quality of my sleep since using these products, because first of all, my husband is a doctor. He gets up really early and I don't want to have to get up with him every single morning, but this allows him to get up and going without bothering me because his movements, even though they make a little noise, don't make enough to bother me with the sound machine. Plus in the morning here in Minnesota in the summers, it starts getting light really, really early and gets dark really, really late. And so having an eye cover really makes a difference for me. It's funny, at a recent bachelorette party, I actually brought my sound machine and my eye patch, and I was in this bunk room of 4 girls where we were really close together, and it was with my college friends, and we used to have a dorm room that was literally that configuration, so it felt like going back to college, but we just don't sleep as well as we used to be able to sleep in college. And so I brought the sound machine, everyone was okay with using it, and we slept so well. We were like, we should do this all the time because we didn't have a problem sleeping with that sound machine. A 6th tip is about how to cool a can. And as someone who really enjoys drinking sparkling water or other beverages out of cans all the time, sometimes I'm not always on top of replacing them in the fridge and they're warm, but I'm thirsty and I want one right now. So what I've done lately is to use a soft ice pack and wrap it around a can, maybe even put it in the fridge for a little bit. And somehow that makes it cool down way faster even than if you just put it in the freezer on its own. Somehow, because it's very concentrated cold. Now just don't forget to leave the can in the freezer or something. It could explode. A 7th item I've used all the time is my Loopy Case. It makes life so much easier because it just loops around my fingers. I can carry a bunch of things and just put it around my pinky and still have my phone with me. It just makes my life so much easier, and at least right now I cannot imagine going back to living without a loop on my phone. An 8th tip is to purchase products secondhand at a higher quality. So for example, I got a used monitor for my computer so that I can see things better. If I'm editing a video or audio, I can just do it more easily, but I bought it used so that I could have a better quality one. It's also better for the environment, especially with electronics. And one other quick example is my Claire V little fanny purse. I absolutely love this. It's in this burgundy color that I don't even think Claire V sells right now or anymore. And this is, to me, kind of a fancy purse. If I were to buy it new, it would definitely be more than I'd want to pay for it. So by buying it on Poshmark secondhand, it really reduced the price and made me feel good about the value I was getting. Basically, buying secondhand often allows you to buy higher end, higher quality things that will stand the test of time. A 9th little thing I've used lately that has saved me a lot of time is Wrinkle Release Spray. Basically, it's this spray that you can just spray on a variety of different types of clothes to get the wrinkles out without even ironing it at all. For some reason, taking out a steamer or an iron just feels like so much effort for me. I have to wait for it to heat up, and sometimes I'll just end up letting how wrinkly my clothes are determine what I'm gonna wear, just because I do not have the energy for that every morning. But this wrinkle release spray has really made my life easier. And I even got a little sized one that I take with me on trips. And I remember at one conference when I was in grad school, I had to wear like a suit for presenting or whatever. And I brought my wrinkle spray, and I didn't even need to use a steamer or anything for the suit, which was a pretty thick material. And it had been in my suitcase all folded up, so I thought it would be a huge nightmare. But it was super easy with the spray. A 10th one, which is really helpful to me and in some ways is almost like a safety or medical issue, is to wear earplugs for concerts or loud events. Andy and I and a few friends recently went to an M83 concert. It's this electronic music group. I absolutely love them. And it was an awesome concert, but it was arguably like the loudest concert I've ever been to in my life. I couldn't handle it, and I was like, thank goodness my sister recently gave me these perfect little earplugs that are made for concerts to kind of bring down the volume at every frequency so you still get the overall experience of the concert, but it's not going to hurt your ears as badly. I'm so grateful she gave me these because they were a lifesaver, and I know I'll use them a lot. Anyway, those were my 10 little tips that I don't think I've ever shared before on this channel, or at least almost all of them I haven't. So hopefully they could help you out, save you some time, make life easier. Let me know if any of you have little smart ways to save time or energy. I would love to hear those ideas. And maybe even if I get enough, I could make a whole video sharing all of your ideas, but we'll see. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe below. I do a lot of content like this, so if you enjoyed it, I'd encourage you to follow along. Anyway, thanks so much for spending this little bit of time with me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!